So my name is Marja and I'm the founder of Jump. So in essence, we use data to personalize the job search for professionals and help them get better job recommendations based on their strengths. And we do this by combining behavioral data, science, as well as machine learning, so very advanced data techniques. To have a positive impact. I guess my parents would have described me as probably a very annoying kid. I remember my mum saying like, oh yeah, you kept asking questions and questions and questions and questions. So at some point when I was 4 or 5, she bought me this book, like 1,000 questions and answers. And anyway, after 2 days I came back and I said, Mum, I finished the book. I think that would pretty much describe me. Like I was a very curious child. I was really shy, really introvert. I guess when I was a teenager, I was still very curious. I was studying a lot of different things. So in Dutch high school, because I'm Dutch, but I basically was just very interested more in the economic side of things. So I wanted to study economics. And we'd been on a school trip when I was 14 to Cambridge. And I just loved the place. I mean, who doesn't? It's like a very pretty city, right? So a pretty town. So I had gotten into my mind when I was 14 that I wanted to go to the UK to study. Started to do the research, realized that the economics degree at Oxford is more interesting. So you can only apply to one of the two. So I applied there and got it. So when I was 17, I came to the UK, started my degree here and kind of, settled here. I never thought I'd set up a business when I was back in the day, like when I was in uni. I don't think it was a thing back then. Like no one talks about startups. No one talked about entrepreneurship. Like now it's a big thing. So when I came out of uni, I joined consultancy, which is basically a way of not deciding, right? So, I mean, I joined a big consultancy firm and you do lots of different projects, strategy projects, operational projects. Then I was about to join private equity department where I worked at McKinsey and got a call from a headhunter saying, oh, if you considered going into venture capital, which is kind of like the sexy side of private equity. And what I really liked about that was the idea of looking at investments that innovate a space, that not necessarily work in an existing space, but that innovate the way that we do things. And during my time there, I started then to look again at labor markets, which was very much what I was looking at during my master's degree in terms of how do people find jobs, what makes people successful in jobs. And I realized it's just so broken. Like it feels like, 100 years ago. I mean, this is a fascinating problem. There's all these people who could be great in a place, in a job, and there's all these businesses that need great people, but for some reason they have a really hard time connecting to each other. So I got really interested by that problem, started to look at other companies, how they're approaching the space. And I didn't really feel like I saw anyone solving it in quite the right way. So that kind of stuck with me and started to think about how I would approach that problem. And I think it's not just technology, it's very much a data problem. So how do you match these two elements together? Businesses looking for the right people and people looking for the right jobs. To me, it's a data problem. It's a cognitive problem. It's a pattern problem. And that's what then eventually led to Jump. I lead a big part of our data strategy together with our chief data officers, and that's just really exciting. I would say that we're very strongly mission driven, and it relates to the values and the kind of people that we hire to solve this problem. Because as soon as you start attacking a problem that's related to people and data, I believe you need to have very, very strong values, very strong ethics about what drives you to do that and what is your end goal. And if you don't have that, you might end up doing things that maybe aren't the best for the people, given the data you're using. So I would say in that sense, yes, we're a very strong mission-driven company. I would say that our mission is really to enable people to find a place where they can have a great work life and make the most of their potential. And in turn, that benefits businesses. So it is very people focused and it's very enabling. And we really want to help people understand that using technology and using data, you can make more of what you have, and you can find a place that you can really fit in. The people that we hire into Jump are very much behind our mission, and they're very values driven. That's a very different way from building a company versus, say, just hiring the people who want to make the most money. Actually, if you join Jump, you're not going to make the most money. Yes, you can, make a great, salary, and you can make a great progression opportunity and, equity share, and you'll get the upside of that. But at the end of the day, it's about balancing that with doing the right thing. The team is the only thing that matters, right? So once you reach a point where you go beyond the 2 people in the garage, which literally me and my co-founder used to be, like every person you hire has such a huge impact. It's like a snowball effect. If you hire great people, that means they'll hire great people. It means that you'll build a great company. And that's obviously really challenging. And we know it's challenging. And that's why we're building Jump, to help other companies hire great people for them as well. I think as an entrepreneur, you have low points and high points on a daily, if not hourly basis. And after a while, you become a bit stoic, and it's like, oh, something great happened. Oh, something bad happened. Oh, something great happened. I think one low point that we had when we set up the business was really personal to me. So basically, at some point, we started the initial thoughts around the business. And that was in the same period that my mother was, unfortunately, she was diagnosed. She had terminal breast cancer. She was 55, very young. It was so difficult to deal with that while you're going through something like this. But on the other hand, it really helped me to have perspective and to think about, if this doesn't work out, it's okay. So let's just try it, because there's nothing to lose. And also it really gave me a strong mission and a strong drive to do something positive in a time that you're not having very much positivity. The last few minutes before I die, I want to say I have no regrets. I love my family, I love my friends, I'm happy. That's it. That's my success in life. So that's going to be a point where I can look back and say, I've done something that's been of value. I've surrounded myself and given love to the people that I care about. If you have a problem you're really passionate solving, go for it. If you have an idea and you're not sure whose problem you're solving, maybe think twice about why you're doing it, what problem you're solving. When you start a business, it's going to be a 10-year thing minimum. It's going to be a job that you cannot quit. So you need to be really convinced that this is something that you're interested in spending the next 10 years on. If you've chosen maybe a problem you're not passionate about, you're doing it with people that you don't enjoy working with, like those are the kind of things that are going to hold you back. So really think about it carefully, but then once you've decided, don't be afraid. And it's going to be really tough, right? It's going to be super tough, and it's going to be super rewarding.